So in today's video, we're talking about the band Epica. They have a new EP. It's called the Alchemy Project. This band is from the Netherlands, and they play symphonic metal. This EP was released on November 11th, 2022, and it is their third EP, even though they have lots of other full albums. Released on the Atomic Fire record label, and their last release was a full album called Omega, released in 2021. I reviewed this on my channel, and that was my first experience of listening to this band, and I liked it because this band is a little different. They're similar to something like Nightwish or Therion, but I think the thing that makes this band stand out is that they kind of have that like death metal element, and along with like the symphonic element. So that kind of makes them a little different than the others. So let's talk about this EP. It's basically 7 songs, 35 minutes, and they have lots of guests. So basically they have like 13 other artists on this EP. So it is just lots of music. It's just very dense. So I'm actually going to go track by track because I think it's going to be the best way to describe this album, being that there's so much like influence from other bands on this. So first track, The Great Tribulation. Now the guest is Fleshgod Apocalypse, and it's basically a typical Epica, but it does have that death metal component. So I think it reminded me more of like symphonic death metal, that type of a sound. It's very dark, it's haunting. You know, the song starts with a singing in like Latin, but then it goes more into that like fantasy stuff. It's more like an apocalyptic type of song. The guitars sound very good. Just they're not very like guitar oriented, more like power chords. You get some death metal riffs, but it's more that like symphonic stuff, but it's dark. It's a heavy song. You got lots of blast beats, keyboards, violins, softer piano stuff. And the vocals are great, operatic vocals by Simone Simmons, and then you got those death vocals. So moving on to Wake the World, and this one features Phil Lanzon from Uriah Heep and Tommy Karevik from Camelot. Now on this one, you do get like a 70s rock influence, and you get some like power metal influence. So like I said, a lot of these guests are going to be like bringing their like influences a lot on this album, on this EP at least. It's more of a dynamic and lively song. It's fantasy-oriented lyrics. It's more 70s rock, keyboards, hard rock riffs, and you do get that like Uriah Heep or Deep Purple influence on it. It's a mid-paced song. Drums sound good, bass sounds good, and more of those like operatic vocals and those choir vocals. A little bit of the death vocals as well. Moving on to the final Lullaby, which is features the band Shining, which is a prog metal band, a band I'm not really familiar with, but this is symphonic or power metal. It's just a very full sound, very robust. It's a little darker, more fantasy oriented. You got the heavy riffs. The drums are very fast. You got a saxophone in there, so that sounds pretty cool. You know, it kind of closes with that like child music box. That's pretty cool. And the operatic and melodic power metal vocals on this song. Then this follows up with Sirens of Blood and Water. This one features Charlotte Wessels and Myrkur. So we got 3 female vocalists, and this is more along the lines of symphonic or power metal. This is more of a laid back, more like placid, it's serene, more tranquil type of sound. It's fantasy oriented. I think the song is about like the 3 like little mermaid sisters. This one incorporates some Middle Eastern rhythm, some power metal sounds, a little slower. You got some symphonic elements, and it's more of a theatrical song. Then Death Is Not the End. This one has Frank Schiphorst from Mayan and Björn Speed Strid from Soilwork. This is more along the lines of like symphonic death metal. This is a little darker. It's more malicious, more wicked, more sinister. It's has some darker themes. You got the death metal riffing, the blast beats, the dark and heavy death vocals, the operatic vocals, those like dark choir style vocals. So this one is a little harder, but it's not like the heaviest song, which would be the next one called Human Devastation. And this one has Andre Sattler from God Dethroned and Sven Caluwé from Aborted. This is death metal and deathcore. It's not really. This isn't even like any like symphonic or anything. It's just straightforward like death metal, deathcore. Very chaotic and agitated. It's very dark. Lots of chaos and turmoil going on. It's just death metal, blast beats, fast death metal vocals. So super heavy song on this one. They close out this EP with The Miner, featuring Asim Searah from Damnation Plan, Niilo Sevänen from Insomnium, and Roel van Helden from Powerwolf. My apologies, I probably butchered like all of these names I'm saying, but anyway, melodic metal, power metal. It's very mysterious. This is magical. It's mystical. Lots of dark themes. Feelings of misery and pleasure mixed together. You get power metal. You get the death metal on it. It's a mid-paced rocker. You got some prog metal here, and the vocals are more like those symphonic vocals mixed with some of those like heavier death metal vocals, like the band Epica likes to do. So my final thought: it's okay. Lots of different styles on the EP. You got lots of different musicians, so it kind of feels all over the place. But if you like this, if you like Epica, you'll definitely like this. It's just a very like full and epic sound. If you know, like I said, if you like extreme metal, this is a good album for you. And it's a little different, but it does. It's pretty cool. That's all I got to say. My final score is going to be a 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And that is all. I got some more stuff coming up this weekend. So thanks for watching. See you all in the next